Well, if you want to talk about some of the best of Minnesota, we've seen that as well. And here on Lake Street, which has been ravaged and burned over the last couple nights, there is also hope. Madeline Clive is part of this group, and these are people that all live in this area, the Longfellow area. We're on 34th and Lake Street, the Longfellow Block Club, and you organized and you protected. Explain the last 2 days from where you sit here.
Well, the first night, my daughter called me and said, "Oh, there's trouble in your neighborhood, do you know?" It was about 7 o'clock at night, the first night of all the looting. And I said, "No, I'll go check it out." So I started walking towards Lake Street, and they had already crashed a car into the bank and were pulling out. And I said, "What are you guys doing? Stop this. You know, what if this was your bank and your home? Would you want people doing this to you?" And they said, "Oh, lady, go home." And I said, "This is my home." You know, and I thought, what can we do? So, you know, as it kept creeping this way, and they were bashing in the Walgreens and bashing in the Napa and everything, and all the looting was going on, I just got a few neighbors and I said, "Stand out here. Let's just, you know, keep our block for safe." And so we just asked people when they came on the block, "Are you a protester or are you a neighbor?" And if they're a protester, we said, "Please respect our home, please be peaceful and leave, thank you." And they mostly did. Everybody, you know, complied. And while all the blocks around us were being ravaged, people were respecting our block because we asked them. And so we just stayed up all night. And that's the only reason our block didn't burn down.
And if here's the Napa Auto Parts. If you look over there, that was looted.
Oh,
you watched it in your neighborhood. You watched them go in there. What was that like to look across the street from where you live and to see what had become of Lake Street?
We just felt helpless. We just felt despair because we couldn't help them. And the Precision Tune, they stole 5 cars out of there. One they ran into the bank, one they ran into Walgreens, and we had to watch Walgreens being looted. We had to watch everything around us being looted, and all we could do was just stay on our block and save our block. That's all we could do. It was a very helpless feeling. And then the fires started, and we were like, we don't know what to do. So we just stayed up all night, and it was like a vigil on our own block. And
you told me not to be self-serving, but you're able to watch our coverage on Channel 4 and know what was happening.
Last night I went home. I thought, finally, it's peaceful. I'm going to go home and sleep tonight. And I went home and turned on Channel 4, and you guys were covering the freeway fire, and I saw how the anarchists operated, and I went, that's what we need, what we're up against. And then they were so organized. Then they moved over to Midtown and started everything up over there, and I thought, and I watched them set up those barrels and how they filled them with fuel, and then somebody else would come and light them, and then they just repeated the same thing over. And I thought, this is what we're up against. These guys are military organized precision. This is what we have to do to prepare our block. So we removed everything flammable from our block today. We got our garden hoses out. We got ready. And some people, yes, that helped us prepare. Your footage really gave us an idea of what we were up against and what we needed to do to prepare. So thank you for being so active.
Let me tell you what you've done is you've given us all a shot of hope, because in the midst of all this, and you understand that everybody does, that a 911 call might not get answered, or you can't rely on it, or a police officer might not be readily available. And we're seeing this up and down Lake Street, and you said we will take care of each other. And you can see, this is the neighborhood.
Yes. Thank you for being there and like in the front lines. Thank you so much. Like, I can't believe like what you were seeing last night. Like,
well, we're all in this together, and you know that. And you feel it more now than ever. But to see you guys, neighbors, just come together is inspiring to all of us. And we thank you for giving us, what after a couple of days that have been really tough, a shot of hope and a shot of inspiration. So I hope everything else goes safe the rest of the way, and we'll keep trying to do our job on Channel 4 as well.
Let me ask you this. Are there any more rallies scheduled for tomorrow? Do you know what's going to happen?
Not that I have heard yet, but stay tuned to Channel 4, right?
Yes, yes, you help us keep...
Finally, we can smile at the end of all this. People taking care of people, and it's the most inspiring thing that I've seen in the last couple of days, Frank and Amelia.